Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I just want to say thank you, Anthony, for taking us through all the details. So we're going to have just a great day and a great start to the Institute. But I just want to wish you a very warm welcome to the Food Bank Leadership Institute 2023. My name is Lisa Moon, and I have the privilege of being the president and CEO of the Global Food Banking Network. And it's hard to believe that 4 years ago in London, we announced that we would be having this meeting. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic, as we all know, it has been delayed. But after 4 years, we are finally able to be together here in person. So welcome to all of you. So we have over 350 participants here, representing nearly 50 countries, and even more people joining virtually. And we are very proud to welcome a large contingent from all regions, including Africa and Southeast Asia, which are regions that are represented more strongly than ever before at a Food Bank Leadership Institute. Thank you, Justin. And our aim this week is to share ideas, to learn, and discuss how we can strengthen our network and its impact in the years ahead. And I am sure we will all leave inspired and have bigger dreams for the future, because that is the goal. Although this is a joyful moment, we all, of course, know the reality that the world is not the same today as it was 4 years ago when we worked together in London. So the theme of this year's event, I think, timely is we are living in an era of volatility. And of course, in the past few years, we have gone through the COVID pandemic. Then we are now experiencing this dramatic cost of living crisis triggered by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And of course, this is all being experienced alongside natural disasters and human crises, including those related to climate change. And I ran into our colleagues from Ecuador last night and heard about the terrible earthquake that struck yesterday. Last week, our colleagues in Madagascar weathered another hit from a cyclone. And of course, we have all heard about the devastating impacts of the earthquake in Turkey just a few weeks ago. And these types of crises, which used to be the exception, especially when it comes to food banks responding, sadly have now become our norm. But of course, like so many times prior, food bankers have met the moment. And we at GFN, I have had the distinct privilege of hearing about the amazing creative innovations that have come from all of you during these difficult times. And of course, we are all inspired by your tenacity. And this week, we can finally gather as a global network and share our experiences and be able to support each other in person. So as I think about this context, I just wanted to briefly reflect on how the network has changed over the past 4 years. And if I had to wrap it up in one phrase, it's that we are a more inclusive and more innovative network. Today, we are benefiting from the experiences and perspectives of incredible food banking leaders in Southeast Asia, and I want to acknowledge and warmly welcome new members from Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines to our network who are here with us today. And for those of you that were with us in London, you may remember in the final session, which was the town hall, John from Food Banking Kenya stood up and he challenged all of us to support the food banking in Africa. And later that year, a group of incredible leaders from African food banks got together with Food Forward South Africa, and we kicked off this amazing food banking, a celebration of food banking in Africa in Cape Town in summer of 2019. And today, we now benefit from the experiences and the innovations, not just of members in South Africa and Botswana, but also in Nairobi, Lagos, Accra, Addis, and many towns in Madagascar. And many of them are here with us today, so thank you for joining us. And as our network has grown, GFN has grown so that we can serve you better. We have a lot of staff here this week, and in a few minutes I'm going to ask them to stand so that you can make sure that you can connect with them so they can learn from you and help you with anything you might need. And with that being said, before we go too far, I really want to recognize some of our amazing colleagues who are here with us today. First, I want to thank Bancos de Alimentos Mexico, or BAMEX, for hosting. The president of their board, Federico Gonzalez, who has been such an amazing leader, not just in Mexico, not just in the region, but in the world, has been intimately involved in the creation of this event and championing it from all levels for 4 years now. Sadly, he cannot be here with us today, but we will be putting something together for him so that we can send him our warmest wishes, and I just want to make sure that we thank him formally. We have from the BAMEX board, the BAMEX Vice President, Enrique, and he is also the chairman of the board for the Monterrey Food Bank. You'll hear from him in just a little bit about the amazing work that BAMEX leads. Maria Teresa Garcia Plata, BAMEX's brilliant Director General. Her entire team have been amazing and they put in countless hours of work to make this event possible. I want to give a special thanks to APT. For any of you that were on the tour yesterday, you saw just how incredible that food bank is. Sergio, the president of their board, and Bernardo, their director, and that entire team just did an amazing amount of work for our visit. And on Thursday, we are hosting a visit to the Puebla Food Bank, and I just want to acknowledge and thank Carlos, the president of the board, and Jose Miguel, their director. So thank you, BAMEX, for the warm welcome. This is just absolutely incredible. There's a few other people I just want to recognize to make sure that you all are able to connect. In addition to the GFN network colleagues that have traveled here, I want to thank and acknowledge Jacques Vanden Schrick, Jochen Bruhl, and our other colleagues and friends from the European Food Bank Federation. And I have a special thanks. We have the board chair and also a member of the board from the Ukrainian Food Banks Federation who have traveled here to be with us, leaving a very difficult situation. We're so glad you're here. We also have many food banks from the United States here with us. Thank you so much for coming. We have always wanted to open the Food Bank Leadership Institute to you. We're glad you're here. We can't wait to have your perspectives in these discussions. And I want to give a deep and heartfelt thanks to our sponsors of FBLI 2023. HEB, Danny Flores, we were just talking last night that he was actually at the very first FBLI and continues to support the event today. And I also want to thank General Mills, Cargill, and IHG. We are so deeply grateful. We would not be able to do this without you. We have a few members of the GFN Board of Directors here this week. Can I just ask them to stand? I just want to make sure people know who you are so that they can approach you. Thank you, Brian, and Christine and others. Please feel free to connect with them. They want to hear from you and learn from you. Thank you so much. And I also want to have the GFN staff please stand up so you can see who they are. I know Tony said they're wearing name badges. Please reach out to them if you need anything. Okay, so we have a packed agenda for everyone this week, and we're going to start by discussing many of the macro issues affecting our network, including the worsening problems of food access, challenges related to climate change, and the growing global focus that we are seeing on food loss and waste, which food banks are uniquely positioned to be leaders in the dialogue in. We're going to talk about everything from operating a food bank in the midst of social unrest and conflict to what the landscape is for food banking and carbon credits. We're also going to touch on upcoming major international events where this model is being recognized for the first time, including at climate discussions and on G20 platforms. But most importantly, we have set aside time for all of us to connect with each other and learn from each other. So let's seize this opportunity to create change to improve how we work together. So I know that we are living really in these volatile times, but with that volatility, as you all have demonstrated for the past 4 years, comes opportunity. And so I just hope that this week that you'll be encouraged and excited about what lays ahead. So now we are very fortunate to be able to hear from Enrique, the Vice President of the BAMX Board, and he's going to share with us a little bit about the BAMX network and the incredible work they're doing in Mexico. So Enrique, please.
Wow, this is really impressive. I just want to give you a warm welcome to Mexico for this great event. I will do my speech in Spanish. Muy buenos días a todos.
Good morning, everyone, our colleagues, food bankers. We will get started with a video to share a little bit of our work with you.
El día de hoy Rosario se fue a dormir sin comer una vez más. Ella, como miles de mexicanos, se enfrenta a la dura realidad de vivir con inseguridad alimentaria día con día. Por eso, en 1995 nace la Red de Bancos de Alimentos de México, cuyo propósito es acabar con el hambre en nuestro país, combatiendo la pérdida y el desperdicio de alimentos. Nuestro principio y corazón es el rescate de alimento, ya sea excedente o de donativos de nuestros aliados, para distribuirlo en casi 2.000 instituciones y unas 8.000 comunidades mexicanas. La red BAMX está compuesta por más de 50 bancos de alimentos, los cuales rescatan productos a lo largo de toda la cadena de valor para llevarlo a quien más lo necesita, y así mejorar la alimentación y nutrición de México. Además, en Red BAMX somos cofundadores de The Global FoodBanking Network, una organización internacional que trabaja por un futuro sin hambre en más de 40 países mediante el mantenimiento, la unión y el fortalecimiento de bancos de alimentos locales. Pero, ¿cómo llevamos el alimento a personas como Rosario? Primero rescatamos el producto excedente de los mercados de abasto, tiendas de autoservicio, campos agrícolas y la industria alimentaria en general. Al igual que recibimos donaciones de alimento, efectivo o tiempo por parte de los aliados con los que contamos la red BAMX. Los aliados alcanzan sus metas de responsabilidad social y sustentabilidad al colaborar con nuestra organización, además de obtener recibos deducibles por cada contribución que realizan. Después de conseguir los productos, en los bancos de alimentos concentramos todo lo donado y rescatado. Los seleccionamos y dignificamos con la ayuda de más de 5.000 voluntarios para crear paquetes alimentarios. Estos paquetes son diseñados por nutriólogos para poder ofrecer el mejor balance nutricional posible, creando un paquete variado en cada ocasión. Los comités comunitarios, así como los colaboradores de la red BAMX, hacen llegar los paquetes a las instituciones y comunidades. Finalmente, las familias como la de Rosario que reciben su paquete alimentario, dan una pequeña cuota de recuperación que por ley no se puede ceder al 10% del valor comercial del paquete alimentario. Esta cuota sirve primero para promover el sentido de dignidad en las personas atendidas, y segundo para cubrir gastos de operación de nuestros bancos. El total de cuotas hace sostenible el modelo de los bancos de alimentos, pudiendo cubrir parte de los gastos operativos y de mantenimiento como son los sueldos del personal, combustible para rescatar y entregar alimento, etc. Pero en la red BAMX no solamente nos dedicamos a distribuir alimento, también contamos con programas a través de los cuales desarrollamos en nuestros beneficiarios habilidades para que puedan ser autosuficientes, mejorar su calidad de vida y salir de una situación de inseguridad alimentaria. Es gracias a todos estos esfuerzos que realizamos en la red BAMX junto con nuestros aliados, que podemos beneficiar a personas como Rosario. Ofrecerles una alimentación nutrida y de calidad, así como una atención integral que les fortalezca. Rosario ya no volverá a irse a dormir sin comer, pues su comunidad ya recibe ayuda del banco de alimentos de su localidad. Sabemos que los bancos de alimentos trabajando en alianzas son una solución integral y viable para vencer el hambre en México y cambiar la vida de millones de personas como la de Rosario. Ayúdanos a lograr este objetivo. Dona efectivo, alimento o tiempo, convirtiéndote en voluntario para la red BAMX. También te invitamos a formar parte de nuestro programa de voluntariado corporativo, donde con tu empresa pueden ayudar a cambiar el futuro de millones de personas. Siempre estamos evolucionando, para generar valor tanto para la población atendida como para nuestros aliados, el público en general y nuestro planeta. Únete a la red BAMEX.
To welcome you to our country for this global event, the FBLI 2023, and the theme today is Food Banking in the Age of Volatility. Thank you. Thank you, Carol Kirchner, President of the our global network, and also thanks everybody, every member of the board, and Lisa, CEO of CEO of GFN, and her extraordinary team. The reach, the scope, and the impact that we have nowadays has a cause. It happens thanks to their vision and their commitment to transform our planet. Hoping that you have really enjoyed the party, the Mexican party last night, I would like to share with you information about our network. It's a pleasure for us to host the most important event for food bankers. Nowadays, BAMEX has 53 banks in 25 states in our country. The work that over 3,300 people work, paid workers, and about 5,000 volunteers. This is what allows us to rescue food. More than 149,000 tons every year for the benefit of a population that is higher than 1.7 million people, vulnerable populations. We are able to achieve this thanks to the commitment of our partners, local donors, regional, national donors, and international donors. Some of them are here today with us. To each and every one of them, thanks so much for your trust, confidence, and commitment to feed the most vulnerable populations and to reduce food waste and loss. The growth and evolution of our organization has happened based on learning, knowledge, and this commitment to make sure that every Mexican person has food. We work in 9 different logistic regions in the country, which makes it possible for us to serve vulnerable populations in more than 5,000 communities and over 1,800 institutions. So one unique feature of our model of service is that we serve families directly. More than 80% of the population that we serve nowadays, we do it through the program that works with communities. This allows us to put in place community interventions for the families, for their communities, to improve nutrition, productive projects, promoting self-sufficiency and employability. Nowadays, our food banks and the partnerships that we have at the national level, we are heading efforts within different sectors, at federal level, regional level, like Hambre Cero, Mexico. Those are initiatives that were created to affect change long-term so that we can improve the conditions of millions of people through better nutrition and other interventions to strengthen their own capabilities and work towards self-sufficiency. Participation of the public sector and the private initiative, the academic sector, the third sector, and different organisms of international cooperation. We're all working together for the same goal. We have really taken innovative ideas to improve our partnerships and to have a bigger impact to achieve our mission, as is the case with Pacto por la Comida. This is the first volunteer agreement to reduce food waste and loss, and we work with the companies that are signatories to Pacto. The objective is very challenging. We want to reduce by 50% the amount of food that is wasted in Mexico today, just by believing that we can replicate models that work in other areas of the world. And that's why we decided to undertake this enterprise hand in hand with our colleagues from RAP that are here today. And we are seeing the first few tons of food that used to be wasted, and they come from these companies. There's a huge potential through Pacto por la Comida, and we are very sure that we're moving forward and we are having a positive impact with this program. So, likewise, we are very excited because we are exploring the emission of carbon credits. We know this is one of the 3 mechanisms that have been proposed by the Kyoto Protocol for the reduction of those emissions that cause global warming and the greenhouse effect. So we are very happy that nowadays our model of operations in BAMEX network has been approved to generate and to put in the market carbon credits through the program of food recovery, thanks to Core Zero, who are our partners, who we have been able to advance this very innovative project. And with this, other than the World Food Day and the International Day of Food Loss and Waste Awareness, we are celebrating environmental cause by celebrating our model and to inviting more actors to join our cause. At times of crisis and uncertainty like the ones that we're living right now, the work that our organizations are doing is more and more relevant. As Lisa mentioned a few minutes ago. So it is a pleasure to have this opportunity again to get together, to share, to get up to date, and to get stronger together. The world needs our work so that it can move forward in food security, and also to be there at the time of emergencies like the ones that we have seen in the last times, in the last few years, in Turkey, in Syria, in Ukraine. And we also heard what happened last night with our brothers and sisters in Ecuador, where the actions of food banks have really made the difference for the population that requires food assistance. And this is the time to redouble our efforts to multiply our impact. Thanks again, GFN, for choosing us as a host country. Thank you for being here, our brother and sister bankers from the Americas, from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, from Oceania. I thank you for the incredible effort of being here and to make us all stronger. And to our own President, Federico Gonzalez, and on behalf of the whole board and each and every single one of the members of Banco de Alimentos de Mexico, we welcome you to here, your Mexico, and to this extraordinary event. Food banking in an age of volatility. I hope this is going to be very fruitful today. Thank you so much.